Hey everyone, welcome back to DataCraft, your go-to place for all data engineering things. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to stay updated with our latest video. So today, let's get into building a simple data pipeline with Azure Data Platform. In this video, I will show you how to build a simple data pipeline using Azure Data Platform. We will move data from a local SQL Server Advanced Data Works to a Azure Blob Storage. This demonstration is based on a practical business scenario to make it easier to follow. Let's set the stage with a business scenario. Imagine a retail company that needs to migrate its customer data from on-premise SQL database to a cloud for a better scalability and accessibility. By transferring the customer table to Azure, the company can leverage advanced analytics and reporting capabilities, and enhancing operational efficiency and supporting growth. Now let's dive into the solution. Our source database is a local SQL Server with Advanced Database, which contains the customer table. We will use Azure Blob Storage as an intermediate storage solution to facilitate the data transfer. The entire process is orchestrated by Azure Data Factory, which uses a self-hosted integration runtime to manage the data movement seamlessly. To make this process more tangible, I have prepared a step-by-step video demonstration. In this video, you will see how to set up Azure Data Factory, configure the self-hosted integration runtime, create link services, and build and run a pipeline to populate data on blob storage. This visual guide will help you understand the practical aspect of implementing this data pipeline. For detailed steps, please refer to my GitHub repository page. I have tried to capture the detailed steps for this demonstration in our GitHub page. I'll try to share the link in below the video. So first step is to create a storage account in Azure portal, and then getting inside the Azure storage account, we might need to go to containers and we have to create a container. I just try to name the container as demo pipeline container. And then we need to create a data factory similar to that. And just once the deployment is done, we just get into the resources, and from which we can launch Azure Data Factory Studio, which leads to a new portal. And let's get into the manage. Let's choose the integration runtime and choose Azure self-hosted runtime setup. That leads to self-hosted runtime setup, which is basically we are trying to run a self-hosted integration runtime locally in our PC, where we would like to connect a database server running on that PC, similar to the on-premise scenario. So once it got downloaded, try to run the setup and install it locally on your PC or in on-premise server. So once the setup is done, try to check whether it is installed and it's currently running on the on-premise server or the local PC. So it looks like it's running. The next step is to check whether we are able to connect our database server from this integration runtime. So choose diagnostics tab and try to connect the your data source. Here I try to locally install SQL Server 2019, and I've tried to load the AdventureWorks database inside this, and I would like to connect this database for checking whether it is able to connect with integration runtime engine installed locally. So while trying to connect, it looks like it's connecting. The next step is to create a link service for this particular server. So just choose SQL Server and the settings, try to choose the integration engine as the one which we created recently, and then create a link service for the Azure Blob Storage table. So we have created two link service, one for the database and the other for the blob storage. And next we would like to create the datasets for each of this. So I choose the SQL Server and try to choose that particular link services and the table, and similarly try to create a dataset for the blob storage. And now create the pipeline, and from move and transform activity try to choose copy data and just try to rename it and define the source and sink. Source mean the Adventure Works database and the sink being the blob storage. I'm just choosing the isolation level as read committed, and sink as discussed like customer blob storage, and the copy behavior as like merge files, and then choose trigger option and try to trigger now. And now we could see the customer table is moved as file to the blob storage after refreshing it. Just to have a recap on key steps involved in demonstration. Firstly, we tried to set up a storage account in Azure and created a container within the storage account to hold our data. Later, we tried to create an instance of Azure Data Factory, then install the self-hosted integration runtime on our local machine. This runtime acts as a bridge between our on-premise data and Azure. As a step 3, we tried to create link services in Azure Data Factory that establishes connection to both our local SQL Server and the Azure Blob Storage. That enables ADF to access and move data between these sources. Finally, we build a pipeline in ADF to copy data from SQL Server to Blob Storage. This pipeline will include activity that defines the data movement process. Once the pipeline is built, we will run it to transfer the customer data to blob storage. Then moving on to the business benefits of this solution. By moving data to cloud, the company can easily scale its storage and processing capabilities to meet the growing demands. And also, the cloud storage enables remote access to data, allowing global teams to collaborate more effectively. And also, Azure offers a powerful analytics tools that can provide deeper insights into customer behavior and business performance. Further, utilizing cloud resources can significantly reduce the cost associated with maintaining on-premise infrastructure. To conclude, we have demonstrated how to build a simple data pipeline using Azure Data Factory, right from setting up an Azure Blob Storage, and then the Azure Data Factory instance, and then setting up an integration runtime on on-premise server, and trying to move data from the on-premise server to the blob storage. Thank you for watching the video. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next video.